All right, back again. Now, you've got your music. Okay, I was using the sample Chummy Chum, which is right here. Um, Now, how do I take this music and add it to my podcast? Here's what you're going to do. Hey, you've got your podcast here recorded. Now, yours should be in two pieces like this. So you should have one piece for your introduction, and you should have one piece for the memoir itself. Now, if you don't have that right now, here's what you do. Let's say I've got mine cut into some pieces because I stopped at various places, which is fine. And maybe there's some spaces in here for whatever reason. And the first thing you need to do is get rid of these spaces, because these spaces are going to be silence when you finish your project. And you don't want just a big gap of silence. The best thing to do is really to zoom in on this, because that way the pieces are going to click together nicely. So to zoom in, I come over here to this slider, and as I zoom in, this gap looks like it's getting bigger and bigger. What I do is I click on the one that's furthest to the right. I click on it and I drag it over until it connects, just like that. Okay, and then I scroll over here and look for the next gap. There it is. Click, drag it over. There should be no gaps in my project. Do I have any more gaps? Nope, that's the end. Now when I zoom out again over here, I should not see any gaps. It should all be tightly tucked next to each other. Yep. See, it's all tightly lined up. Now, it's still in 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, which is a problem. We want to get it all together in one piece. So here's what you do. You click, again hold shift, and then click, 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 so that all your pieces are highlighted, except for my introduction. My introduction is not highlighted because I'm not going to put this together with my memoir. And what you do is you hold down Command and hit J, and it joins them all together into one clip. Okay, so now I've got one clip for my intro, one clip for my podcast, for my memoir itself. All right, now how do I put music in? We're not going to try and squeeze music in on this same line or this same track. You need to make a new track for yourself. Okay, the easiest, quickest way to make a new track, you go to Track, New Track, okay, and you can just choose Real Instrument here, and then do Create. All right, and now you've got a new track that has shown up. What you've got now is you've got a space to put in your music. In my case, it's that music, Chummy Chum. Okay. So what we do is we're going to go over here to our music where we downloaded it. You can see it in this window. Okay, and I'm going to choose the 30-second clip, because we're going to make ours even shorter than that. So we certainly don't need a 60, and we certainly don't need the full length. Okay, so I click on Chummy Chum, and I drag it in here, and I let it go right on this line, not up here, right on this line on the new track. Okay, there's Chummy Chum right there. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Now, Chummy Chum is too long at this point. Okay, we want our clips to be about 10 to 15 seconds long, maybe 20, but certainly not 30. 30 seconds is too long for your listener to sit there and listen to the music. We're just putting them in for effect. So the way I can shorten this clip is by clicking on the end here. See how my cursor turns to this, these two outward pointing arrows? I click and I drag it until it's the length I want, about that long. Okay. All right, the next thing I need to do is make space for my song to fit in between my introduction and my memoir itself, because if I play it right now, my mom gave me $5. I went to the store to buy some candy. See, the memoir is being played at the same time as the music. So this is easy enough. All I do is I click and I drag until it's at the end of the song. And let's line things up a little better here. We can use the playhead to check. Yeah, see, they're not exactly lined up. So what I want to do is maybe I'll zoom in a little bit, and I'll click and drag until that's there. So there's where the intro ends, the music starts. And then I'll click here and I'll drag until it's at the end. All right, so zoom out again. And when I play this, here's my introduction to my podcast. My mom gave me $5. I went to the store to buy some candy. Okay, now that's great. Now how do you put music in the middle? Like say you've gotten to your climax and you want to put music right before the climax. Well, the way you do that is you're going to cut apart your memoir where you want to put in the music. So if I want to put in the music, let's say between... My mom gave me $5. Right after my mom gave me $5, I stop the playhead right there. Okay? And what I do is I hit Command T. Command T. Okay? And what that does is it cuts my reading into two pieces that can then be dragged apart.
Okay, now I've got my space I made here that I want to put my song into, and I just need somewhere to put in the music. So I'm going to create a new track by going to Track, New Track, and I'm going to choose Real Instrument again and do Create. Okay, now it's giving me another track here. I can make this window go away just by clicking on the eye down here. All right, I'm going to take my other song. Say you found a different song that you wanted for your climax. That's great. I'm just going to use good old Chummy Chum again as an example. So let me get Chummy Chum here. And I'm going to click. I'm going to drag in here. Okay, notice I let it go right here. So it's on this track. It's on a track of its own. You might be wondering, why does it have to be on a track of its own? That'll be clear later when we go to working on fading in and out. So I will line up so that my music starts right here. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit more. See, we use this zoom feature, and it helps us be more accurate. So I zoom in, and then I can make sure it's starting right as this silence begins, so there's no awkward pause. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. And let me shrink this down so it fits right in that space. And again, I'm going to use my zoom feature to help me zoom way in there. Cut this down to size, zoom in even more. Okay, there we go. So now when I zoom out again, and I play this.
My mom gave me $5. I went to the store to buy some candy.
Okay, and for your third song, what you'll do is you want to create a new track for that third song, where you're going to put the song in after the memoir has ended. Okay, so you should have 1, 2, 3 tracks that show all of your songs. And you may choose 3 different songs. Maybe you want to start and end with the same music. That's up to you. It depends on the mood that you want to create in your piece. Okay, good luck with adding music. Make sure, as usual, you hit Command S, and if you make any mistakes, you can always fix them by doing Command Z. Good luck.
2, 3.
This has been a 2Cat production. Okay, sorry.